The Apostle Paul's letter to the Ephesians is filled with deep truths about faith, unity, and love. In chapter 5, Paul turns his attention to relationships, specifically the marriage relationship. Ephesians 5:25 is one of the most quoted verses in Christian wedding ceremonies. Husbands, love your wives, just as Christ loved the church and gave himself up for her. This is not just a poetic line. It is a divine command that sets the gold standard for marital love. It challenges men to love with the same selflessness, sacrifice, and devotion that Christ showed toward his people. But what does that really look like in everyday life? And how can we truly follow it? Historical and biblical context. To understand the weight of Paul's words, we must look at the historical backdrop. In the ancient Greco-Roman world, women often had limited rights and were sometimes seen as property rather than partners. The idea of a husband being commanded to love his wife sacrificially was revolutionary. Paul draws a direct comparison between the marriage covenant and the relationship between Christ and the church. Christ's love was not based on convenience, beauty, or perfection. It was unconditional, enduring even through betrayal and rejection. His love led him to the cross, where he gave everything for the sake of his bride, the church. Breaking down the command. When Paul says, "Husbands, love your wives," the Greek word used for love is agape, selfless, sacrificial, unconditional love. This is not a feeling that comes and goes with emotion. It is an act of will. Just as Christ's love is steadfast and unwavering, husbands are called to mirror that same commitment. This means prioritizing their wife's well-being, honoring her, protecting her, and leading with humility. It's a love that seeks her best interest, even when it requires personal sacrifice. Christ as the model. Paul's example is clear. Jesus is the ultimate model. Christ's love for the church involved teaching, guiding, forgiving, and even suffering for her benefit. Husbands are not just to provide physically, but also to nurture spiritually and emotionally. This means leading their family in faith, encouraging their wife's gifts, and creating a safe, loving environment. It also means practicing forgiveness and grace, never holding past mistakes as weapons, but walking in unity. Practical application. What does Ephesians 5:25 look like in action today? It looks like a husband who prays with and for his wife daily. It looks like a man who works hard but also listens, supports, and cherishes his wife's heart. It looks like putting away selfish ambitions to build a shared vision for the family. It also means demonstrating love in small, consistent ways, kind words, thoughtful acts, and steady encouragement. In a world where relationships are often disposable, living out Ephesians 5:25 can be a powerful testimony of God's unchanging love. Closing reflection and prayer. Paul's words are not just for husbands, they are a reflection of God's design for all relationships. Ephesians 5:25 reminds us that true love is not about what we get, but about what we give. It challenges us to model Christ's love in every relationship, especially the most intimate one of all, marriage. As we close, let us pray. Lord, help us love as you have loved us sacrificially, patiently, and unconditionally. Teach us to honor the people you have placed in our lives, and let our love be a reflection of your heart.